Alright, my friends, welcome back to the stream. Glad to be here. Got some stuff we're going to be talking about on the stream tonight. Some changes that I'm making. No, we're not leaving the channel or nothing like that. But I've been doing a lot of, messing with stuff and working on getting things working and working the right way. And let me do one thing real quick. Okay, we can close that window. I don't need that.
Documents row 1, column 2. Documents row 1, column 2.
So basically, the first thing is
documents with status bar stub and address colon search edit 3 documents collapsed. Search with preview 10 suggestions available. Press down arrow key to access results. Documents collapsed 3 of 9 leveled. Items view list. PMDG line 700. Date modified. PMDG line 7.
Okay, there it is. I'll take care of that in a little bit.
28. Seagate backup plus
Close
drive left
that.
parent.
We'll leave that open.
28 D3D5 information.txt Seagate backup plus drive left parent. Decode ops 28.1.2 left ops 28.
Okay, so we'll just leave it on the OBS window for now. So let me.
Look up RCV restream chat 406 app start cursor.
I'm gonna open up the chat that way you guys can interact with me and chat with me or whatever. So we'll at least do that.
Disable button. Enable button.
We'll enable that.
Clickable menu buttons. Type message edit blank.
Okay. So
Ops 28.1 Ops 28.
First of all, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, had plenty of turkey and all that good stuff wherever you might be. I mean, some people don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but hopefully you, if you did, you had a good Thanksgiving. So the thing that we've been dealing with here for the last week or longer is, I try to do a stream, it would cut in and out, it would skip, it would drag on, or just different thing. Then I went to Twitch by itself, and I'm going to be using Twitch as well, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I was still having problems. To be honest, with Microsoft 2020, number one, you need to have really good. You gotta have a good computer. Not that my computer's not good. Okay, I mean, the thing that hurt me with 2020 is my RAM. I've only got 8 gigs. I thought I had 16 on this thing, but apparently it is 8. I need to look at that again because I thought it was 16. And I've got 8 cores, I'm on here. But it was my RAM, whenever running 2020, on the physical sides, I was using, let me see what that says.
Physical colon 4.04 GP of 7.8.
I was using 6 out of 7. Like right now, I'm using 4 out of 7. I could run P3D and probably use 5 out of 7. Okay, which I know for a fact I can handle. P3D is not a problem. For now, we're going to run with P3D. I stated this before on a live stream that I was not going to leave P3D. I just been really focused on trying to get 2020 to work where, I could do a successful takeoff every time, yada, 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 and it just was being an absolute pain to do. But I've got First Officer on here for P3D. I actually uninstalled some stuff.
Talking flight monitor.
Now I'm like, why did I do that?
Hi.
Hey, Andy, how are you? So, we're going to wait on 2020. It's going to be a few months before I really dive in and... well, actually, not even a few months. I've got my other laptop.
Good.
And I'm going to update the RAM on that and try to run 2020 off my other laptop that I'll have back sometime next week. I think if I update the RAM on that, I know for sure that thing should be able to run the 2020 without a problem. But we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't mind. Here's the thing. I don't mind to fly on P3D. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't care that 2020 is out there and PMVG's on 2020. That doesn't matter to me. Who uses it and who doesn't. Because...
Talking flight monitor. That's okay, P3 dis more stable anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And like Andy said, it's more stable. Even when I had flights that was going okay, it was just very unstable. It would just close in the middle of a flight, stuff like that. And Andy, you want to meet me on this server? Because I've got some questions I could ask you that came in to me. I don't know. Guys, I don't know why you're asking me these questions when they should be going to Andy. I guess because where I do the sneak peeks with Andy, I guess, it's okay. I don't mind asking, but I'm saying you could
Talking
ask
flight monitor.
You could ask him.
Yes.
1 GB used left.
But let's
51.8% right.
Let's get him up on the server. Let's talk.
TFM line 5 Turtle Beach Twitch chat TFM with a team viewer 50 TFM pub team talk 5 classic 60.
Let me get up here to the server.
Host manager the cooldown. Team talk 5 classic V. Private rooms left the hangout left parent level 2 John. Bible study John level 2.
Okay, there we go.
Ops 28.
And then I'll make sure.
Scene preparation trans audio sources window list YouTube not scenes window list main window for audio mixer volume slider for desktop audio properties for desktop audio volume mute desktop audio checkbox volume proper mute mix /o checkbox not checked volume proper mute YouTube checkbox checked volume proper mute computer sound checkbox not checked volume proper mute TFM checkbox checked not checked. Andy left parent, desktop right parent, left channel root app checked.
Oh, we don't need TFM unmuted.
Volume proper sources window list locked audio volume mute TFM checkbox check proper volume mute computer sound check proper volume mute YouTube checkbox proper volume mute mix /o checkbox proper volume mute desktop audio checkbox scenes source audio mixer window grouping scene duration spin button 350 ms.
I think. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up here.
The hangout dash team talk. The hangout dash team talk. Andy left parent. John level 2.
All right, we got Andy in here as well.
Andy left parent. Desktop right parent. Left channel root. Andy left parent. Desktop right parent. Logged out of the server.
Oh, he's got to hold on.
Desktop John level 2. Andy left parent.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull it up and make sure I can hear you, Andy. I'm pretty sure.
Gold wave Google Chrome. Normal cursor. Normal cursor. New tab dash Google Chrome dash Johnny left parent. Dividic.edu. Itch first TM select selection remove. TV TM select selection remove.
Okay, let me make sure I'm able to hear you on the stream side.
Welcome to the chat room. 6:50. moderator back.
On the stream. Okay, go ahead and say something, Andy.
Bracket YouTube. Colon.
Yeah,
Talking
I'm
flight
here.
monitor right. Bracket high 6:55 monitor colon 50. Radar battery stream left bracket you back.
On the stream. Okay, go ahead and say something, Andy.
Right bracket code 6 colon.
Yeah,
Talking
I'm
flight
here.
monitor right colon 56
Okay.
colon 50.
I can't listen to that very long, boy. I get confusing. So I have uninstalled 2020. You guys, it's gone for now. Somebody else earlier today said, "Well, why would you do that? Now you got to reinstall it." Look, it don't take but 5 minutes to install 2020. It's not hard to do at all. I mean, at least initially install it, but then you got for it to load everything and all that. So the first question that was sent to me was, the features that we're seeing on TFM, are these features that will work on on P3D as well as 2020? I'm referring to the trim updates and etc.
Yeah, they work.
1.2 left.
Okay, so there you go. And I think we've said this before, guys. Any updates that you see, it's not just 2020. You guys are assuming that it is, but it's not. Whatever. I mean, it would be kind of silly for Andy to put trim for 2020 and to say, okay, guys, I got different TFM for P3D. This is why he's glad that it worked out this way, because whatever he does, it'll follow through with P3D or 2020. So that makes it nice. And I truly don't mind flying. Honestly, let me be honest about it. I would rather, after I've been through a few weeks with 2020, I would rather fly on P3D at this point. And that's just where I stand. Yeah, I'm not saying 2020 is bad, because it's not. but it's not stable. It's not stable. You're going to have problems that, for example, the thing that you'll get this message off and on, disconnected, reconnected, disconnected, reconnected, and you might assume that's you. That's not you. That's 2020. It's the server load or something. I don't know, but I've uninstalled it for now. I'll do my flights on P3D. I know some, are talking about how 2020 sounds better. Well, maybe it does, but the sounds on P3D can be just as, it's going to be different. There's going to be a difference, but I don't mind. I don't mind the sounds on P3D because, I've got extra sound packs that I can install, and it will give me good sound anyways. So, not only that, but think about this. I like to go on VATSIM. I will not do that with 2020. Especially considering, you really want to have a yoke if you're on VATSIM. I tried to do a flight earlier this morning on VATSIM, and I had to cancel out because I'm pulling down on the stick, and it's just all over the place. Everywhere. So I got rid of it. So I will be still, streaming on YouTube, but I'm also going to be focusing on streaming on Twitch quite a bit more than what I have been. So I'd rather let you guys know what's going on. That way when you see the cockpit, and it might look a little different. It shouldn't really. It's going to look pretty similar. Everything's going to look pretty similar, besides the scenery. The scenery's going to be different, as far as it being real scenery like 2020 offers compared to just the free scenery. Unless I went and bought scenery like Andy did. Andy bought scenery, and I don't know if the scenery you bought is that like the real scenery. Does it give you like the real scenery looks, like houses and addresses and all that, or is it just a better quality?
Hold on.
Stand by 1 second, you guys. But I have 2020 it's been removed from the computer. And of course, I didn't uninstall the PMDG yet. I guess I need to uninstall that separately. I'll have to look at that before I install my other one. But yeah, so back to P3D. At least there we can do flights.
I'm back.
Okay.
So the scenery that I use is, I'd say more of like a mesh type of thing. So it gives you contours and shading, and it'll give you down to the street level, and it will show, and of course it covers all parts of the day and night. It covers real world traffic and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Covers the 4 seasons of the year. Has realistic lighting, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not where, like 2020, if someone's building a house and you fly down to about 400 feet over the construction site, in reality it's not going to be there.
Right, yeah. And in 2020 it would be. You guys, if there's this area being constructed, you would see that. And, those are nice things to have, but...
Yeah, when you're like 37,000 feet up in the air, it doesn't really make any difference.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, I was like, if I flew the small planes all the time, then that's where it would really make a big difference on on that. Outside of that, if you got good scenery, I mean, when you land at the airport, it's going to look good regardless.
Yep.
Of course, I am back to where I'm going to have to. Well, no, I don't. I don't have to use GSX if I choose not to. I can just reposition with TFM.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be curious to see if TFM acts silly with ILS, like it was doing to me with. Well, that was with the preview that me and you did, the latest one. TFM was acting kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but
Why would it do?
it just wasn't like, okay, so normally the ILS, it would line you up when you're close to zero, and this would be like, it would just give me wrong numbers. It was like, give me real high numbers on altitude, like it would say above 20,000. I'm like, what is it? Why is it saying those numbers so high? I don't know. I talked to Declan, and I guess someone else was having that issue with it, but it might have just been a fluke. I'm going to run it again once I get P3D all set up here. I'll run it again and see.
I know who you're talking about, and I told them there's no such thing as an unofficial 22.12 build. Unless someone gave it to you and outside of the website, then there's no support for it.
22.12.
Yep.
We've not done a 22.12.
No, there isn't anything for 22.12. It doesn't exist yet.
We're up to...
Right now it's a 22.11.2 because Jason had to fix the installer.
Oh,
But that's the only thing new, was the fact that the installer, when you installed the preview, it would actually install over the top of the official release. So it would wipe out your official release.
oh, so
And
you
then
couldn't have...
Well, so what it would do is it would wipe out your official release and right over the top of it. So then if you went to TFM preview on your desktop and launched it, you're getting like a really old version of TFM preview.
Oh,
So there was
gotcha.
some confusing stuff in there about that.
Yeah, because see, I don't, I just run the previews that I get when we do sneak peeks. I don't even do the install, like others do. But that's interesting. Yeah, there is no 22 point.
There is no 22.12 unofficial.
No, not even a sneak peek. There's not even a sneak peek of that. I'm not sure.
And this person was saying like they didn't understand it because when they'd go to land, they'd be on the ILS trying to catch it, and they'd catch it, but only because they knew the area and they could force it. They could force the issue. But when they caught it, TFM was telling them like 1,700 feet above you, and like when they caught it, I think they said it was like TFM told them like 1,200 up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, first of all, and they said the only the only place they have this issue is the unofficial 22.12 build. Otherwise, if they did the preview release from the website, it worked just fine. If they did the 22.5 official release from the website, it worked just fine. But this
Add configuration spin button 350 ms.
22.12
Ops 28.1.2 left parent. 64 dash add configurable. Ops 28.1 point start recording checkbox not stop streaming checkbox checked.
It's like if you got the build
Folder
from
view list.
someone
Flight officer
else
Pro
who
Flight
built
Simulator.
it,
FSDT live updates. FS tramp scenery. FS
I don't know
airlines
what
home.
to tell
FSDT
ya.
install. FS airlines 12. Fly central 15 of 64. Start.
Yeah,
FSDT
that's...
window.
It
Items view
could
list.
have
Items view list.
been built in
OS
such
left
a
parent.
way
See.
that
Program data 14 of
things
30.
might have been
Program
messing
files left
about.
parent.
I mean,
X86 right parent. 15 of 30.
we had that problem some time ago.
FSX21. FSUI PC 720. FS ROS
If you
2020.
remember.
Flight Simulator 24 of 30.
Yeah. I do.
Set matrix left. Program file left parent. File view
I
list.
still
Flight
got.
simulator for flight simulator. Freedom Scientific. FS2. FS Airlines 12. F3LWX. FS Tram 14. FSX Pilot Line. Flight simulator first officer. Flight simulator first officer. Prop 9 of 57.
Okay, so my first officer is still installed. What
Freedom
version do I
Scientific.
got?
Flight simulator first officer. Prop 9 of 57. Date created colon 01/31 slash.
I'm not sure what version that is. I was looking to see if my FSU IPC 6 was still.
Folder view list. Flight. Run dialog.
think it
Downloads.
is.
Documents. Text
I might have
desktop
to
list. Flight text
reinstall
documents
it. I
window.
don't know.
Feedback hub 5. FS 2020. FS Airlines 7. FROZ 28. FS Tram 800. FS Tram 8. FSU IPC 611 of 240.
No, there's 6 on my.
FSU IPC 712 of 200. FSXP 13 of 200. FSU Items view list. ASNWX radar facilities and FS. Changes dash V6.1 point.
Okay, there's
Colon,
6.
text
So I do
document.
have
Top
6.
28.1 point.
Okay. I think 6, I think it automatically start on its own. 7 is supposed to, but it's. Hold on, do I need to uninstall 7 because I'm not using it right now, or is that going to be a conflict?
No, it's only a conflict if you have 2020 and P3D running at the same time.
Okay, because I didn't know P3D won't run 7, right? It'll do.
No, 6 is
6,
the highest that
okay.
it'll do.
Okay, so where we at? Ben, you're already up here. Where we at with the sneak peek? Are we doing one this week coming up or what?
We're doing one, yeah, coming this week.
Okay, or if you want to do one over the week, well, like within the next few days, we can do that too. But I just wanted to kind of see where we was at with that.
No, I'm still working on the trim stuff at
So
this point, and then I have the transponder.
Oh, okay. I know the cool thing. The one cool thing about 2020 was this. Whenever you, well, I don't think that's 2020. That well, it is kind of because when you would tune in a channel on VPilot, VATSIM, it would tune it on in the airplane, but that's not 2020. That's
No one asked for support. A bug report was submitted using TFM 22.12 Alpha 1 since it would be something that needed to be fixed in the future before this went out.
Oh, yeah, Blind Flight Simmer said no one was asking for support. A bug was submitted, and it was 22. Let me get back on the stream here for him so we can see.
The Hangout dash Teams Talk 5 Classic V 5.6.301 call restream chat row 1 restream chat row 1 column 1 clickable menu buttons of something that no one asked for support. 1 asked for support.
No one asked for support, he
Bug
says.
report was
Yeah, but the
submitted
bug
using
report
TFM
submitted using
22.12.
TFM 22.1.2.
2 space 2 dot 1
22.1.
2 space 2 1 dot 2 space.
Okay, so 22.12.
Space. TFM 22.12.
22.12, and the bug report was submitted through that, is what he said.
Yeah, so what does he want to know?
19 colon no one asked for support. A bug report was submitted. 1 asked for.
He was
support.
saying no one asked for support,
Bug report was
but that a bug report was submitted
TFM 22.12.
using TFM
TFM 22.12.
22.12. That it was submitted
there's
through
no
that
such-
version.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a 22.12.
So, Declan, he's saying there's not a 22.12. I thought it was 12. Now that I think about it.
22.11.
Blind Flight Simmer.
22.11.
The folder from your server is called 22.12 Alpha 1.
Oh, the folder from your server is called 22.
Something that would flight server button. 19 call button.
let me read
Flight
this
button.
to you.
19 folder from your server is folder from your
The
server.
folder from your server is
22.12.
called 22.12
1.
Alpha.
Clickable menu buttons of
1.
menu space. Out of menu button 1.
Whose server?
Your server.
Alpha 22.12.
How did they figure? Hold on.
Blind Flight Simmer. On TT.
On TT.
On Team Talk?
Oh, it must have been the one that. Is it the one that he put up here for the sneak peek? Is that the one you're talking about, Declan? Let me read it. Let me.
Ops 28. The Hangout Dash Team Talk 5 Classic V 5.6.3. The Hangout Master Volume. Microphone gains like voice activation levels. Tab control. Chat tab selected. Dialog. Chat tabs. Files tab. Dialog. Files list. TFM 22.12 alpha 1.zip semi. Colon 54.
Oh, he's right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it is. It's
22.12 alpha.
Blind Flight Simmer.
Yeah, okay.
That's the one he tried and had ILS problems with, yes. And so submitted a bug report under that.
Files tab selected. Voice activation level sliders. Microphone gains like master volume sliders. Hit channels list review. John level 2 level 1 the handout left level Bible study left anti left parent desktop right.
Whoops.
There you are. So okay, now that makes sense, Declan. You're right. It does say that. You're right. Of the one we got up here. This is the one we did the sneak peek on, I believe, originally. I believe.
Okay, yeah. And so the idea is that
Blind Flight Simmer.
build.
The official preview is fine though.
He said the official preview is fine. It's not the official preview that's doing it. It's this one that's doing it. Which, like I said, my ILS was acting kind of fluky too, but I wasn't sure to submit because I didn't know if it was on my end or if it was on TFM end. Or because I came close to submitting one, but I'm like, no, I better wait. So okay, well, I'm glad we got that. At least well, and I guess the thing is with the sneak peeks that we do, them aren't even an official release, so I guess bugs can still occur within these. It's more for showing what's been released, and then I'm guessing you go in and fix bugs as you before you release it. I'm guessing it's how you do it.
Yeah, it's more the sneak peek is more or less what's coming up.
Yeah.
In the next preview.
Yeah.
Build.
Yeah. Yeah, cause it was acting silly. Like I said, he was giving me some weird information too, because usually my ILS would line up, and when it got lined up and got to like 0, it's usually when you would see that it would catch, that it would, fully connect. And I seen it doing some weird stuff as well. But again, Declan, I need to warn you about this because I know you're going to try it out, and I'm not trying to keep you encouraged about doing it. But when you try it out, I'm just going to warn you with the... What am I thinking, though? You're not going to be using the Xbox controller to fly with. You've got you've got an actual stick. So you'll be fine. Never mind. I've decided that I'm not doing 2020 at all until I get a yoke or a flight stick back in here, because doing it with the controller is almost impossible. I mean, your nose goes way up, or then it drops down real fast, and that's a problem, because that's going to be hard for the LNAV and stuff to stay connected. Because if it's unstable, it's going to just... I've noticed that if it's too unstable, even your autopilot will kick off. It'll completely kick off the autopilot if the plane's too unstable. It did it to me a few times on 2020, but either way, we're coming back to P3D where things are stable. And I've said this before to Josh and them. Brandon asked me, will I leave P3D? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will not leave P3D to fly just on 2020. Absolutely not. That will not happen. P3D, honestly...
Blind Flight Simmer. Initially Marshall was told the issue was not an issue, when in reality it was, so in this case good thing he submitted it and sent in video to demonstrate.
Okay.
Blind Flight Simmer. But the joystick should be fine. Blind Flight
you'll
Simmer.
be given the joystick.
Hopefully in P3D.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can use my controller in P3D at least. I know it really seems very sensitive, but I'll just have to play around with it and see what happens. He sent you a video too, I guess, Andy, with that support.
Yeah, he put it in GitHub.
Oh, okay. That is something that we did tell people. It makes it a lot easier if there's a video, kind of back up what you're showing. So yeah, I always tell people to do that. give them a video. That way, it kind of backs up what you say, and it makes it a finer point on what's going on. But yeah.
John, away level 2. John. Bible study left parent. 0 right parent. Dash lock level 2.
And like I said, Declan,
Master volume slider 6. Review. Bible study.
My ILS, because I was using the sneak peek, I wasn't using the actual released, the release one, and so I had similar problems, I believe.
Rinks.
Let me
In
see.
P3D it's a lot easier to adjust controller sensitivity settings,
After
so
I
if the
get
nose
this
goes
done,
up too
I'm
much
gonna
you know
test
to bring it
from
down.
JFK to Boston and see what I come up with.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know how accessible the that window is though, Josh, in P3D to adjust the sensitivity. I guess it's more accessible in P3D 5.
Yeah, it is. Because you can just tab through the calibrate window and it'll have your sliders and your...
So I can
Your
just make
typical-
my Xbox controller less sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you go to the right? That means more sensitive, right? Like if you're going
The
toward
higher
the
it gets... Yeah, so it'll have like keyboard and stick sensitivity. It's
Right.
set to default, it's set to 64, so...
Have you
The
tried
higher
to
the
fly?
numbers, the more sensitive.
Did you try? Is the yoke still the same thing? Is it still the left stick on the Xbox controller? I guess it would be the left.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
throttle is the right stick.
Oh, that's an actual throttle. Okay.
But you can... that's what I remember.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm going to put 2020 on my other laptop. I'm going to update that other one and maybe try to run it off that other one. But being I'm wanting to actually get some flights done and some actual videos done, I'm gonna just go with P3D. But Brandon's he's got that computer being sent to him. I don't know. With what I'm seeing and what I've seen, I don't think he'll be running 2020. But that's just my opinion.
Let's see, what's really weird though is because most of the time when I catch an ILS, I'm usually within 1,000 feet below it, or say 500 feet above it by the time it catches.
Are you talking about 2020 or P3D?
Either one, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
And so, usually,
Mine usually caught it when it was close to 0. Is usually when I'd catch it.
yeah, and a large part of because glide slope and localizers usually have a 2.5 degree spread either way of the dead center line.
Yeah, no matter if you're a little bit to the left or to the right.
And so you could be within 2.5 degrees to the left or 2.5 degrees to the right. The further out you are, the wider the spread gets.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you're, say, at, I don't know, 6,000 feet, and glide slope is the same thing. It has a 2.5 degree spread either way, up or down.
Mm.
So if you're close to the runway when you catch it, let's say you're close to the marker at like 2,000 feet, the spread's going to be pretty tight. So you may catch it at 500 feet above or 500 feet below, maybe on the nose. If you're, say, at 4,000 feet and you're still about 20 miles away from the marker and you catch it, you may be like 1,200 feet below it when you catch it, because it's still within the 2.5 degree spread by the time you hit that waypoint or the marker for it.
And also there was I don't know who this simmer is. I think it might be Cited, maybe. Their name is Cali 4008 or something like that on YouTube. So Cali, you was saying, and I'm not saying like you're clueless on everything, so I don't want you to think that, but I am going to tell you that you're wrong when you tell me that the Lockheed Martin has a partnership with the same company that 2020 does, you're completely wrong. Lockheed Martin is doing their own thing. They don't need that company that 2020 is contracted. They don't need them guys. So I don't know. Maybe you read something and there's some information out there is wrong, but I know for a fact Lockheed Martin does not have a contract, never had a contract with 2020 or the company that 2020 is contracted with for doing the sim, designing it and all that. I've never heard of that, ever, never.
I don't think so.
Because, again, you'd put that maybe I mixed 2020 up with P3D, that 2020 was doing stuff with the Air Force. They're not doing stuff with the Air Force, I promise you that. Lockheed Martin is. Lockheed Martin, they've been doing stuff with the Air Force for a long time. That's the Air Force has done a lot of training simulations through Lockheed Martin. So maybe the form you're on, you might want to put them guys in check, because they've got you clueless at this point about P3D and 2020. Microsoft, they're not going to partner with Lockheed Martin.
Thrustmaster has default profiles in Microsoft Flight Sim, so hopefully mine won't be too sensitive, but Xbox controllers are just so fiddly in terms of ILS. All of that is normal, but I've seen it say 20,000 above on the Alpha 1 version, so something appears out of whack compared to the official version.
Yeah, so let me I'm gonna go back and I'll read this to you.
Flight something that needed to be fixed in the future before button 19 default button 19
get down to it.
19 that's the one flight simmer button 19 official button 19 initial good fix button 19 hopeful lorries button 19 and P2 notaries for 19 thank you but please graphic status but please know that all of your chats are important and thank you all 19 restream audio you know to bring it in P3D it's a lot easier to adjust control 19:21 button 19 and P3D it's a lot easier to adjust controller sensitivity settings, so if the nose goes up too much you know to bring it down and P19 button lorries hopefully 19 button flight simmer button 19:20 hopefully in P3D orange button 19 and P3 no restream 19 thank you all but please no graphic flat button 19 Thrustmaster as default.
Oh, here we go.
Default profile in Microsoft Flight.
Thrustmaster
in profile default profile in Microsoft profile default Thrustmaster 19
well, my reader's not being stupid. Okay.
Default profiles.
Thrustmaster has default profiles in Microsoft 2020.
So hopefully mine won't be.
He said so hopefully mine won't be too sensitive, but Xbox controllers are just too fiddly. In terms of ILS,
that is normal, but
all of that is normal, which it is very sensitive. But and I tried to adjust my Xbox controller with 2020, but it's hard to do. Like it's hard to do them settings. So, because it's very sensitive, and you pull halfway back on the stick, and the freaking next thing you know, it's at like 18, 17, 18 degrees on the on the up pitch, and taking off was just very, very. It's just 50-50. You don't know if you're going to have a good takeoff until after you just do it. And like I said, I tried to do a takeoff today. I was going to do a VAT sim flight because they're offline obviously, so I wasn't lagging.
A rinks.
But
Lockheed Martin is a military defense contractor. MSFS and ASIBO aren't on their radar as far as business relations.
Well, yeah, Josh, and that's what I was telling this person. They never will. They're not going to partner up with 2020. I can tell you that. That's not going to happen. They've got too much invested into what they're doing now. They're not going to switch all that up. That's just not going to happen. And if someone likes to believe that they will, then I guess keep believing what you wish, I guess. But yeah, in reality, it's not going to happen. They even said, and I read it more than one spot. They even said that P3D was considered professional compared to 2020. 2020 was more on the gaming rating of it, and P3D is more on the professionalism side of it. And I would believe that, because, well, it would make a lot of sense to me. 2020's got good sound, and that's where they might have P3D at, is sound, and that's it. As far as it comes to scenery and everything else, you can do all that stuff and make it look just as good as 2020. I mean, there was a guy that he does videos on P3D, and everybody thought he was in a real plane. That's how good he had it looking. They couldn't even tell the difference, and it was more than one person. Like, hundreds of people thought that he was actually flying until the end of the video, and he told them that he was in a sim. So, if you got the money to invest in it, you can definitely make P3D look as good as you want. That's for sure. So, but I wanted to let people know kind of what was going on with 2020 with the streaming. For now, I'm not going to be streaming 2020. It's not necessarily going on the back burner, but I'm going to load it on the other laptop, and I'll mess with it there. At this point, I would say that, as far as flying and stuff with 2020 compared to P3D, I would definitely say that 2020 is still yet considered to be stable. There's a lot of stuff they need to do to make it, fit that rating of being stable. At least with P3D, and Declan has said this before as well, at least when you get into your plane and you're set up on a flight and you take off, 90% you're going to make it to your destination and be able to have a good flight. There were several flights that I did on 2020 outside of streaming, so we're not going to include streaming on this, but just flights that I was trying to do, and just weird things would happen, just silly things would happen, and yeah, and that is exactly why I'd said that I'll never stop flying with P3D. Like, P3D always be the first one that I run to, but I wanted to be able to fly with PMDG on 2020, so I tested it out. And those of you who's not done it yet, by all means, grab 2020, install it, and fly. There's, the thing I would like to see with 2020 is for them to give profiles where you can have more than one setting, or more than one setup. Because if you want to fly on like Aviatype, you got to go back, turn off this setting, change this setting, set this setting, and then you want to go back to your PMDG, you got to go back, change this setting, and this setting. So it's, I would like to see them have profiles. I'm really surprised that they didn't, because I don't think that would have been hard to do at all. So I'm kind of shocked that they didn't have that. But as of now, just so you guys know, when I'm doing my streaming, whether it's a video here on YouTube or when I'm streaming on Twitch, I'll be flying with P3D for now. That's just where it's got to be. As far as bugs with TFM, submit them bugs and tie a video to it. That way it kind of backs up what you say, kind of like Declan was saying that Marshall did. He connected a video to it. That way the support, it shows everything. So with that said, I believe Declan said he was going to buy me a brand new simulator. We're going to put it in my garage, and so let me know when you send that out, Declan. I'll be waiting for it.
Yeah, right.
Then I'll get Andy down here and we'll program it. See if we can get TFM connected to it.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, there are some. I've seen some not expensive simulators, but there are some you can buy, and I'm wondering. There was one that I seen that, and I've considered.
Blind Flight Simmer.
That's fine.
In the mail.
Oh,
Should be there in several house-sized boxes very soon.
Yeah, be like 50 boxes sitting out in my front yard, and I gotta put it all together. Here's what I'm wondering though. There is a sim that I've seen. Now it doesn't have the motion platform and stuff with it. You'd have to buy that separately, but I wonder. You know, it makes you wonder if like TFM could read it, because it's still a computer that's inside that simulator. So I wonder if there's not a way that we could make TFM read back information through the simulator, because I feel like there could be, but I mean, I don't know. But I know I've looked at a few different sims, and maybe next year we'll see what happens. My buddy's something about helping me get one, and then us seeing if we can make TFM work in it. That'd be cool. Just have a simulator in my garage and just go out and sim whenever. That'd be kind of cool. You'd still need a keyboard inside the sim to navigate some of the stuff, and be able to check stuff. But I don't know. I feel like it could be done. It's like I said, it's still a computer, but I don't know. So, yeah, as far as the live streams, you guys, I'm going to be doing live streams on YouTube, but I'm going to be definitely doing them every day on Twitch. I'm trying to build my reputation on Twitch, and so that I can become an affiliate on Twitch. And that takes work and takes time. I just got done doing some add-ons for Twitch that I'm hoping I can get to work, because I know, like, you can do these sound effects on Twitch. So like if somebody, let's just say someone made a donation, it'd make a noise, it'd make a sound effect. I know, like, this YouTuber I used to watch, Angry Grandpa, every time his would go off, he'd play a custom sound of him, like, laughing or whatever it was. I can't remember, but I did enable the add-on yesterday for mine. So we'll see what happens. Declan, good luck with, I bet you're excited to get home and test out 2020. It is a good sim, guys. I'm not saying 2020 sucks, but it's not going to be my primary spot of simming. Now, if I could just do flights, even just in one plane without all these problems, then it would be. And I know some are thinking, well, some of these problems is on your end, and you're right. Some of these problems are on my end. But there are still initial problems on the 2020 side. That, like one, for example, you'll be doing a flight and the sim will just close out on you. That's a 2020 thing, and it's happened to many of people. So, there's that. I was watching a video, and there's another thing that it does is, no matter how good your computer is, like, sometimes the scenery will drag. So, like, as you're turning the plane, you're not seeing what you should right away. It slowly drags. It does that every now and then too. So, scenery stuff isn't really a big deal to us. We don't care, but I do care when it comes on the end of people seeing what I'm doing. I at least want it to be decent. So,
The handout that ops 20 is ops 20.
Guys, I appreciate all y'all stopping in.
Stop streaming checkbox checked.
Hopefully the next video will be P3D here in a little bit. Doing a flight. I'm hoping. So, all right, y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Stop streaming.